What's up, guys? Welcome to Jaden's New Life. I'm Jaden and I'm an addict. So this channel is about my story of addiction and recovery. I like to come here each week and share either a bit about my past as a using addict or how I live my life today in recovery. So if you get any value out of these videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and turn on that bell notification too. That'll notify you when I come out with a new video. And make sure you share this video too if you think anyone else might get some value from it. So this week I thought I would discuss life after addiction. Well, when I was in active addiction, every waking moment was spent in either getting high or finding ways and means to get more drugs. And I mean that literally. You know, it didn't matter what I was doing throughout the day. I could have even been going to the toilet, whether I was going to the shop, whether I was anything that I had to do, anything. I would have to either take my pipe or my drink or my smoke with me to have on the way or before I went and when I got back. And every single thing I did throughout that day, I was always constantly thinking about how and where and when I was going to get high. You can just imagine how much focus that took off my responsibilities in my life. I have 3 children. I had a wife at the time. Do you think that they got any of that? Do you think they got any of what they should have from me? Absolutely not. You know, I pretended to be a good father when I could, but my main priority was to use drugs. The thing is with addiction, and when you come into recovery, we go back and we look at all the negative things in our life, all the behaviours that we had in our past, and you know, it really does highlight all this negative crap in your life. But when I do look back, I did do some good things as a father, but in saying that, I was never actually really present because my thoughts were all revolved around getting high. Now, when I came into recovery, almost instantly, that completely changed. All of a sudden, I had all this free time on my hands, and to be honest, I started to freak out in the beginning. I didn't know what to do, you know. So, especially because I didn't want to go and walk the street and run into someone else that I had known in my one of my addict friends, or someone that I owed money to, or you know, you name it. Like, I didn't really want to even leave the house. All I found myself really doing was getting on a borrowed push bike and going to Narcotics or Anonymous or Alcoholic Anonymous meetings. That's what sort of kept me going at the very start. But as my recovery progressed a little bit, just this time, you know, like, because if I sat there too long, everything started going up here about what I'd done, about who I'd hurt, and how I was, well, my thinking at the time was how I was never going to be able to fix it. But then I started to be proactive with my time. I joined the gym, and was probably one of the best things I'd ever done. You know, like, I'd never, you know, that time in the gym for me was my time. It was taking, you know, actually taking myself seriously and my body seriously, and actually doing something to, you know, make me healthier, which was the first time I'd ever done that in my life. That really took up a lot more of my free time. But after coming out of the treatment centre that I spent 18 weeks in, I had this burning desire to go out and help people in some way. And, you know, my natural thing to do was the natural thing I thought to do was to be a drug and alcohol counsellor when I came out of rehab. Because I was so passionate about how far I'd come in a short time, I wanted to go out there and impact other people's lives and show them, you know, what was possible, considering, from, you know, the place I came from to the place I was then. So I decided to go back to school. You know, this was all things to fill in my time. And like, the craziest thing happened when I went back there. Went back and went to try. What I had to do was to gain all the qualifications that I didn't get at school first before I went on to do a proper scholarship or something in drug and alcohol counselling. So this first time back at school was the complete opposite from any time in my past. I was sitting at the very front of the class. I was there early, and I had my head down and I did all my work. And like, compared to when I was actually at school when I was young, sitting at the back of the class, disrupting everybody, like the complete opposite. And for example, one of the classes I was in there for 3 weeks. 3 weeks into this class, and the tutor decided to put us into a group environment to do an activity. This was the first time in this one particular class that I realised that out of about 20 people, I was the only male in the class. I didn't even know this because I was there early, I left late, and I sat at the front of the class. And the biggest thing out of this is I actually realised I had a brain that I'd never really utilised in education before. I've started getting excellences for my exams, and it just blew me away what I was achieving, even though it was stuff that I should have done when I was 15, 16, 17 years old. Doing it again now was just like, it blew my mind. So where I'm going with this is how what's life like after addiction. Well, that was just the start of my journey. I didn't carry on down that path because of all the debt that I'd built up in my addiction. When I went to go for my student loan for a 4-year Bachelor of Applied Social Science, I was denied my student loan due to my debt. In that time, I was working part-time, doing something else, so I just continued down that path. But I still had this burning desire inside of me to want to help people in some way. So I carried on. I actually got quite successful in that new career that I did, and became a manager of a branch in another town. And I soon realised that I was heading down the same path as I did before. And this is quite scary as an addict, really, because all of a sudden I had limited time to spend with my family. I was spending 12 to 14 hours a day at work, and just working myself to the bone. And to be honest, I wasn't doing it for myself. I was doing it for outside reasons. I wanted people to say, look at Jaden, look how successful he's become in recovery. It was actually nothing to do with me, And this was a whole nother learning process for me. And in the end, it wasn't worth it. The money was good, the perks were good of the job, but none of it was worth it. I had my partner, my beautiful partner, working alongside me because I couldn't get staff. We were both working ourselves to the bone. So I gave that up, and finally made that decision that I was going to go out and look, search for another way. And pretty much since I come into recovery in 2014, my path has all been about growth. I realised how much I loved growth after going through rehab, through this treatment centre, and intensively working on myself day in and day out for 4.5 months. The product that came out of there from doing that work was nothing short of amazing. And I don't shy away from work now. And throughout the last year, I've actually been creating a digital marketing business, an affiliate marketing business where I promote other people's products and services and get paid a commission for them. I just wanted to do so. I was so sick of being an employee. And just of late, I've also done some more training, and I've actually, I've tapped into that desire to want to help people. And I went down this path and I actually discovered my purpose. And along the way, I actually ran into another recovering addict who had a very successful business, and he gave me some coaching to find my life's purpose and how I can implement that. Now, I've become a life coach. I've become a life coach that helps fathers to gain acceptance around their situation and create loving and lasting relationships with their children. This business is only just taking off, and it's not, to me, it's not about the money. It's about making an impact in the world. I'm still in my current job that I went back to once I left the other one, but it's a work in progress. one day I'll be able to say goodbye to that life of being an employee. And this is all what I'm trying to get across in this video. I'm trying to get across that you can do absolutely anything you want with your life, this second chance at life, if you know, in recovery. So everybody's different, but if you go after it, you know, a life after addiction can be absolutely anything you want it to be. And I refuse to stop growing in this life until I become the best possible version of myself that I can be. And if I listen to what I've just said, I realise that that growth is never ever going to stop. You know, I'm never ever going to stop. You know, so I'm just looking at the time in front of me here, and it's already 10 minutes. I'm just rambling on. Like, I can't believe, like, you know, when I talk about my story of addiction and recovery, I can sit here and I can talk until the cows come home. I can just keep talking about it because I'm so passionate about it. I'm so passionate about the man that I've become. I'm so proud of myself. You know, I was one of the very last people anyone would have thought that would have ever got clean. Yet I'm here today, and I'm doing everything I can on a daily basis to continue to transform my life. So I'll leave that video here for today. If anyone wants to know anything about my story, you have any questions, you need any help or guidance, chuck something down in the comments there. I'll get back to you straight away, and you know, I'll do what I can to help and support anybody out there. If you're a father out there that's, especially a father that's in recovery, and you're having trouble with reconnecting with your children after a path, you know, a life of addiction, I can very much help you with that. You know, I have amazing relationships with my children today because of the work that I've put in to knowing who they really are and to knowing who I really am. And it's all about the responsibility that I've had to take and acceptance around the whole situation, and then building those connections with my children. So if you want any help or guidance from me, yeah, like I said, reach out to me in the comments, and we'll go from there. If you think anyone else want to get some value from this video, make sure you share it, and make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and turn on that bell notification, and you'll be notified when I come up with next week's video. But I'll leave that there for today, and I'll see you all on the next one. Bye for now.